I'm Ethan Burke with Irongate Realtors. This is the Brick and Banter Podcast. Today, I've got with me
Ruben Vera, owner of Queen City Grappling Club here in Springboro starting April. And then we got a second location coming up in Mainville as well. So
Nice. That was something I was going to ask about. I heard rumors. Are we completely moving?
Yeah. So our lease is up. I mean, you're in this kind of business, you understand. Like there's a bunch of stuff that's going on. We subleased the building. The current master leaseholders are kicking us out. We talked to the building owners. They don't want us there. They want like a big, like multi-million-dollar company to like go in. It used to be an Advance Auto. So they're not comfortable with having a small business there. We got like good credit, all that kind of stuff, but they just want someone with the money. And then they said, hey, find a spot. So I shopped around. We're going to move down the street. So we're on 73. Let's say you're coming south from, Dayton. Instead of going right, you go left, and it's that first plaza right there where Planet Fitness is at.
Okay.
So we got a big building there. We're going to add an additional 2,000 square feet. We're going to be just ourselves. We're not going to have any partners in the building, so it's going to be massive.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then Mainville, we have a second location that's going to open up. I have a partner that I teamed up with, and we're just now starting to kind of spread the word about that. But that's going to open April 4th. That'll be in Mainville. It's myself that's going to be running the school, but I'll have a partner on the back end of stuff, which is pretty cool. And that's like a block from my house, which is going to be sick, dude.
So you're going to drive back and forth, do classes at both spots?
Yeah, I'm gonna be probably eating a lot of shit for the first 2 years. So like, it's just the way business goes. You want to push everything up in the front end. That way you front load everything, and then once things settle down, you're good to go. So probably a year, maybe two of working like 7 days a week. So I'll be 3 days at QC, 3 days at Mainville QC, and then I'll have open mats every other Sunday at my gym. So thank God for Dan for having like open mats at his gym every other Sunday, because like that'll at least give me 1 day off every other week, But it's part of the game, bro. Like you have to do that kind of stuff in order to like advance.
Yeah. And that spot next to a Planet Fitness would be freaking awesome.
Dude, it is sick. So it's 8,500 square feet. Our current building is just under 7,000, right? But the thing we have to take in consideration is we have approximately 3,000 square feet that are given to Tough Brother, which is our weightlifting area. For those of you who don't know, I'm partnered up with a weightlifting gym, and they're taking up about 3,000 square feet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take all of that space plus more. Everything's going to be brand new. I just spent $45,000 on equipment.
Oh, cool. Like what?
Brand new mats, brand new wall mats, brand new bags, brand new everything, $15,000 on lights. Costs are going to keep on coming. But like that's business. Like what are you going to do? You're going to not for me, I feel the necessity to, because we're going to a new spot and we're going to be here for a long time. I have a long-term lease.
Yeah.
I have to go all in. We're going to be there for minimum 5 years, probably 10. I have to go all in. So I'm going to go brand new everything, and we're going to restructure schedule. It's going to be sick. It's exciting. It's scary, but it's exciting. It's going to be awesome for all the members. I'm pretty pumped.
That's cool. How'd you find the spot?
I just Googled it. Funny enough. So all right. The landlord at our current building is like, hey man, you got to get going, skedaddle. We can't take you. So we have, that's December. We have approximately 4 months to find something, which is, I think, a reasonable amount of time. Within the first 2-3 days, when I decide we're going to move, or when they tell us we got to move, I find a spot. We find a building. It's in Carlisle, which is right next to Franklin, right? But it's further away from the highway.
Yeah.
It's an additional 4 minutes. And I'm like, okay, no problem. It's not too far off. It's generally the same area. The clientele will stay.
Yeah.
We go, we check it out. Building looks sick. Talk to the owner. The owner's like, yeah, dude, if you're good to go, you're good to go. Let's get a contract written up. He's going to invest money into the building to make it look nice.
Nice.
I'm pumped. And then we get to a point to where like I reach out to the city, because like you want to make sure that the zoning is correct.
Yeah.
And you don't have any issues. I reach out to the city, and they're like, oh, well, we have to have a town meeting, and you have to present this to us. No problem. I'm all in still, right? I call up the dude. Hey, man, we're going to need to go to the town meeting, so I'm not going to sign because I don't want to be locked in for 5 years and then not be able to use it. Like, that would literally ruin me.
Yeah.
He says, okay, no problem. And then the city calls me about 3 days later. Like, mind you, this was like 2 weeks time that he had to wait.
Yeah.
And he couldn't wait. The city calls me and say, hey, the guy's selling the building. The deal's off the table. I was like, what? Just like, didn't even reach out to me or nothing. I was like, okay, whatever. So I was bummed because I was really excited about that building. It was going to work out great.
Yeah.
Within a day of him saying no and me searching again, I found a spot. Like just randomly searching, called up the company that owns it, or not that owns it, but like that runs the property, I guess. And they're like, yeah, come down, check it out. I'm like, all right, cool. Checked it out. They wanted to vanilla box it. What do they call that? When they like prep it and they make it all like clean, like
I'm sure there's a
white
term
box
for
it. I don't know. They wanted to like, okay, we're going to just go ahead and white box it, vanilla box it, whatever the term is. So we'll go ahead and if you're comfortable with it, rent will be X amount. And then I told him, hey, what if I just do all of that myself? Checked it out. The building's like perfect.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, hey, let's knock down a couple $1,000s off rent. I'm like, sold, done. And it's like right in front of Planet Fitness. So like when you walk towards Planet Fitness, like it's going to be this big black building with like big old windows. So like all those people that are coming in are going to see the building.
That's awesome.
I'm pumped. And it's
a
just
beautiful spot.
Dude, it's great. It's great. If you've been there, like there's a Planet Fitness, there's an Aldi, there's a Seven Brew, I think it's called. It's like a new coffee shop. There's a McDonald's, a Popeyes. There's like a bunch of other shopping things. It's like prime time zone right there. You know, and then it's Springboro. You know, they have more disposable income, so it's gonna be good. I'm pumped. I'm excited, and I'm excited for the members to have a bunch of brand new shiny stuff. It's gonna be like really nice.
That's cool.
Spending too much money, but like I said, it's gonna be a big investment, and we're gonna go balls to the wall.
What are you doing with the old mats?
So the old mats, I've sold them to Q.
Oh, okay. That's where you got mats.
Yeah, Q. Nice. Well, Q has mats now, but he wants the mats that I have, so he will have those.
Okay.
Gave him a great deal. He's a friend. He's one of my guys.
Yeah, mats are expensive.
Brother, dude, I'm spending.
You wouldn't think they would be.
No, it's like $175 per piece. You know, multiply that by however many pieces I need. I think I need almost 200. That's a lot, dude. Yeah. It's a lot. So, you know, he's going to get a good deal. I'm going to be able to have recoup some money, and it works out. Everybody wins. So he's pumped. Have you been to the spot, by the way?
I have. I was there for the opening.
Dude,
that's awesome.
I love it. I think it's a good spot. I think the vibe is cool. The concrete walls, like the whole look. It kind of fits the family of gyms, you know?
Yeah.
Nathan's got a cool vibe too. Dan's obviously got like probably the nicest gym out of everyone right now. He spent so much time on it.
He spent a ton of time on it.
That
place
gym
was
is
rusty and
brother. Did you go there when it was like not?
I saw
anything?
Pictures of it.
Oh my God,
it's beautiful.
It was. I was very not pessimistic. I mean, I guess pessimistic. I was surprised that the building turned out so damn good. But he quit his job and he was going 110% in there. You know, sun up, sundown. He would train sporadically, and then he would just work on the gym. And now it looks, bro, it's probably the best looking gym in the area. Like I'm talking about like probably all of Ohio. Like I can't think of one that looks cooler, you know?
It's sick.
Definitely. And he's done a great job like as a coach. I'm super happy for Dan. Like the guy's killing it. Like I'm going to be shocked if he doesn't like start blowing up within the next like month or two. It's ridiculous.
What's been super surprising for me, because you never see it anywhere else, is just how awesome you are with helping other people start gyms.
They're my dudes, bro. They're my dudes.
But you know, there's tons of people out there who see it as competition and they be trying to shut people down or get in their way. You seem like you're just doing nothing but helping everybody.
So here's the thing, man. Like you got to understand from like a business perspective. Like I can't be upset that there will be competition, right? That just forces me to be better. But I don't even see them as competition, right? How many people are in Dayton? Estimate.
Good amount.
Let's say 1 million, right? 1 million people. You don't think we could split the pie? Like that doesn't make sense. And he's so far. I mean, it's I think 25 or 30-ish minutes from my gym to his gym. Like, brother, like there's plenty of people. I have a couple, you know, tens of thousands or 100,000 people like Springboro, Centerville, Franklin, Middletown. Like,
yeah.
Why do I need to fight or be upset, man? Like, and like Dan's been with me for a long time and I've had the pleasure of promoting him and having him bump up. For me, it makes me happy to see him have the opportunity that I had and like do this for fun or do this for like your living, right? Same thing with Q. Like Q has an opportunity now. He got promoted to brown belt. He's got a space even further out, right? I don't know the distance between Dan and Q, but it's far enough to where they're not gonna. I mean, like there's so many people, and then we have Nathan down south. Like there's no reason for me to be like money hungry or like try to like close the market down. There's too many people out there. And the other thing too, man, like it's bad energy. When you put out that kind of energy, like, oh, you know, well, this has to be mine or whatever. Like I feel like it's a bigger probability of things going awry. If you just like are a good dude, good person, you provide a good product, the customers will naturally come in. You're a fantastic realtor, right? You go above and beyond. You make sure people are like when you sold your a house to my brother-in-law, like they were telling me like, yeah, Ethan just texted me about this. He called me about this. He showed up about this. He's checking out the house as it's being built. Like you're providing a top tier service, right? Are there 50 other realtors in the area? 500, however many? Yeah. But people will go to you because of like the service that you provide, right? And if they don't go to you, then that's like an internal thing that you need to work on, right? Like, hey, let's make adjustments and changes to entice these people to come in. It's the same thing for me. Yeah. People come to me because of the vibe, the energy, you know.
The quality's outstanding.
Yeah, you know, like people like that. And we've done a good job. I think we've proven ourselves in like the local, regional, national scene. We've done, you know, had guys compete at high levels and win. And some people lose, but like we do well. And people come because they see that and they feel all that when they come into my doors. Yeah. If we were failing, I have no one to blame but myself. I'd have to step back, take a look at how things are laid out, class structures, curriculum that's being provided, whatever the case may be, and then be more introspective and work on fixing that. If I'm not, what am I doing? I'm failing myself, you know? I'm failing myself. I can't cast blames on others.
Did you have anybody helping you when you started out?
Man, my wife. Really? I mean, like I was blessed enough to have my wife be super supportive, provide me assistance when needed. But as far as like logistics or tips or tricks, not really. Clever, my coach, he's a phenomenal coach, a jiu-jitsu coach, and he provided me tremendous amount of technique and like understanding of like the actual sport of jiu-jitsu, the art of jiu-jitsu. But as far as like a business perspective, I kind of like winged it. You know, like I try to like figure it out as I went and like, okay, this works, this doesn't work. And like, I think that was really beneficial to me. Like most people would see this as like see that as like a roadblock, I guess you could say. But for me, it's like opportunities to learn and like be able to know how to use that information moving forward. Like, okay, like obviously I need to make sure that I am aware when I'm producing product to get samples from multiple companies and ask each individual company to provide me, you know, give me this one, give me this one, give me this one, have everything come in, spend a little bit of money up front, and now we know what is good, what is bad. Yeah. And you can apply that to many different things, but like I didn't really have anyone to help out. Like I just had Ivory be supportive, and like she's the best about it, you know? We moved here from California. I had an office job and I had a 2-year contract, right? So they had paid me X amount of money and they had helped me move here for a guarantee that I will work for them for 2 years, right? If I quit early, I pay the money back, which would be terrible, right? Nobody wants to do that. Yeah. So I worked and I taught at this other gym and it didn't work at this other gym. I didn't enjoy the vibe or the culture. So when I quit, I taught on my own on top of a snack bar with some mats were laid out, and I would teach after work. So I got to like 10 students or so, and and that was like teaching twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, right after work. And I told myself, like, dude, if I could get 10 students without trying, I can get 100 students if I go all in. So when my contract was up, which was like, so that would have been April when I started doing the things on my own. I think November is when my contract was up. When my contract was up, I just told them, like, I don't want an extension. I'm going to quit. And then I went all in, and then it worked out. Like, made some errors. Obviously, I think everyone makes errors, but like, make an error or mistake and then close the gap and move forward. Mistake, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Sometimes 4 steps forward, 1 step back. Sometimes 5 steps back, you know? Yeah. But it all worked out. I can't really complain about it. You know, it's just the learning process is helping out. And here's the thing too, like with the learning process like that information I pass on to Dan.
Yeah.
I pass on to Max in Kentucky. I pass on to Nathan. I pass on to Q. Like these guys, they don't have to take my advice, but here is everything that I learned. Make it easy on yourself, dude. Do with it what you will, you know? And most of those guys listen pretty well and do what they got to do. And sometimes they want to, you know, touch the stove and burn themselves, you know? And that's fine. That's fine.
You learn a lot from that hot stove.
100%. Sometimes, dude, it's like with your kids, right? I mean, you don't have kids, but you, like with children, they are children that 1,000% need, you could tell them, don't touch the stove, it's hot, you're going to burn yourself. They need to touch it. And then once they do that, they'll never, ever, ever, ever touch it again. And some kids, they just listen off the bat and they trust. And both things are okay. Both things are fine. I don't see any problem with it.
How'd you get those first 10 students when you weren't advertised?
Connections and just meeting people. So I moved here from California. So I've been here for this September, 10 years, right? But I moved here from California. I lived there my whole life. I had an opportunity from my employer. I worked for an eyewear manufacturer. I worked for them at their headquarters, and then the parent company offered me to move here. They brought me out. I checked it out. I checked out a couple gyms. All right, cool. Let's do it. When I moved here, I found a gym that seemed like it was, you know, adequate, and it was. But I made sure to go to visit a bunch of different gyms in different areas. Yeah. You know, shake hands, kiss babies, become acquainted. And at the time, I would say it was a lot more of a gi-oriented region, right? I mean, you've been training for a while too, right?
Yeah, gi was pretty much all there was for a long time.
Right.
You might have one no-gi class a week.
Right, exactly. So when I came in, I think there was a big difference in what I was able to provide as an instructor and as a training partner. So I would go and like people would ask me for private lessons, or people would ask me for like assistance in training. I would help people get ready for camps. So I started shaking hands with a lot of people and making friends while I was in the area, and I was teaching at this one location at this other gym. Once my relationship with this other gym ended, people reached out like, hey man, what are you going to do? I started training at another gym and hung out there. Things went awry due to the first gym's relationship with the second gym, so I couldn't train anywhere. They basically blackballed me, which is fine. It is what it is. Yeah. But then I started training at that snack bar in Mason, and people just started showing up. They would hit me up, hey man, where are you training? Okay, cool, come on down. No problem. And it was like, come train, hang out, let's get some rounds in. And if they would like it, they stay. And if not, they would go back to their regular gym and then come and visit every now and then. Yeah. And little by little, as time passed, people were less scared to train, because like if your dad says, don't go here because that person's a bad person, even though they're not a bad person, you're not going to go because you're scared, or you'll go in secret. So as time passed, people became more comfortable with coming around, and then little by little, 1 sign up, 2 sign ups, up to 10. And then I was off to the races. Once I got into a proper building and not on top of a snack bar, it was relatively easy to go ahead and have some significant growth.
Are you going to have slanted mats at the new place? I know you like just built those and then found out you have to move.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like part of the, you know, the whole thing is like when you're not an owner and you have like a shorter lease, like you do whatever you do, and then if things work out, they work out, and they don't. So unfortunately, we were thinking we were going to stay for a good amount of time, and it didn't work out. But I'm going to take it with me. The way it's going to work now, it's like a very large building. It's a square, essentially. Front lobby is in the first portion of the square. It takes up the entire front end of the building. You walk past the entrance, the first lobby, and then you have essentially a long rectangle on the left and then 2 squares on the right. The long rectangle and the square on the right, furthest end, will be one L-shaped mat area. The other room will be a Muay Thai kickboxing, strictly striking room only. Completely closed off, walls and a door. So that L shape, I'm going to have mats continuously from one side all the way through. And at the end of the L, the slant wall will be there. And then the whole section on the walls will be mats from open space to walls, full wall mats. It's a lot of space. Like for perspective, the current mats that I have, I think cost me approximately $30,000.
Dang.
Right? Approximately, right? let's say take away or give a little bit more, I'm spending 45. So that just tells you how much more space there's going to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, it's going to be sick. It's going to be pumped. I'm very excited. I have a vision, bro. It's going to be crazy. I mean, obviously we'll see how it all turns out, but I'm going to make every effort to ensure that it turns out perfect. Different vibe than dance. See, dance is like a lot. It's like how do I say it? Like bright and like natural and like almost like outdoorsy with the plants and like the browns and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like I think his mats are like kind of like greenish, right? Are they right?
I think they're white.
The wall mats are white. I think the floor mats are like a kind of like like some kind of. It's like an earthy tone.
Yeah.
Right? They're gray. They're gray. Anyway, and then my gym is going to be black on black on black on black on black. Like it's going to be black ceilings, I have brand new lights, black walls, black on black logos on the wall. So you'll only be seeing certain angles, black floor mats, black flooring, and then the front lobby will be black epoxy. So really bright, really, really, really nice. And then we'll have brand new fixtures. Like it's a large investment, but it's going to look sick, bro.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're planning on expanding the striking program. You have its own spot.
So the idea is to have it available 6 days a week instead of 4. So the days that we have, because it's closed off, we'll have the L-shaped area for like wrestling on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah. And then on Monday through Saturday, we'll have kickboxing in that room that's completely closed off. So the issue is always cross-pollination of noise. Yeah. Like if you're teaching a technique, you're teaching classic, then you're like, all right, we got to get to, you know, rubber guard, and then we're going to go zombie and this and that. Like play your game, right? Like you're going to want to have the ability to say these things and not have obstructions. Yeah. But if you have like someone kicking pads, it's loud as hell, bro. Yeah. It's tough. So having that area closed off will allow me to have the ability to like teach 2 classes at the exact same time and not have cross-pollination of noise. That's cool. Which would be sick, you know? And then people like the guys that are kickboxers or boxers, like they want more opportunities to kickbox and box. Yeah. So giving it 6 days a week, really 7 with open mat, because you can do whatever you want on open mat. Yeah. But doing it 6 days a week, like I think it's going to be a big time game changer. That's cool.
And we already got like 4 or 5 people doing MMA. Like at a legitimate level.
We have a pretty good amount, and then we've got guys that are, you could say, aspiring, right? That are training and doing whatever they got to do. But we've got Danny and Zach. They've got fights this weekend. So today is, what's the date today? The 18th, 19th?
18th, I think.
Something like that. It's a Thursday. Yeah. They're going to be fighting this Saturday. Nice. So like, we got those 2 guys fighting. Bagel's fighting in April. Colby might be fighting in April as well. We got a bunch of things that are coming up. And then we got some other guys that are up and coming looking to fight as well. Parker's looking to fight. We have like other guys that are younger that haven't fought but want to train to fight too. So, you know, it's constantly growing, constantly evolving, and we're doing pretty well right now too with our team as a whole as far as like wins, losses too.
Oh, yeah. And you had some MMA fights, correct?
Man, that was like forever ago, but yeah, I was terrible. I was terrible. So for me, I trained and I got into training because I liked pro wrestling and this movie called Bloodsport. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Have you seen Bloodsport before? It's a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Oh yeah, Bloodsport was awesome.
Yeah, he goes to China. He's got this like tournament with like all these characters. This guy's Kung Fu, this guy's Muay Thai, this guy's Sumo, whatever. That fascinated me. I loved the movie, and it kept on playing on like back home on Channel 5, KTLA. Weird that I know that the station name is, but KTLA over and over and over again. Like I'd seen it probably 100 times. That was one of my favorite movies. Then I started watching pro wrestling, which is like not grappling because it's not, but it is, you know. But like the characters from the wrestling was like something that intrigued me, and I liked the stories, and they would beat each other up. Then I got to high school. I was like, okay, this is real wrestling. So it's kind of like the guys in the Bloodsport movie would have their martial art, and it's kind of like the wrestling from like WWEF, kind of, right? So I started doing that, and then I found Pride FC, and UFC. And I started watching that. I kind of like worked my way to these different things, and ultimately the competitive nature of wrestling was present in mixed martial arts when I watched Pride and UFC. Yeah. They did really well. The characters, I guess you could say, from like pro wrestling were available in Pride and UFC because you would have like a Tito Ortiz or a Chuck. Yeah. Super different characters. They're regular people, but like they had these personas, right? Yeah. And then you had like the blood sport aspect from the movie of all these different martial arts coming together to fight in the tournament. That's what UFC and Pride was back in the day. I'm old. I'm going to be 40 this year. So that was like a while back, you know? So like me watching this stuff, I became enamored and I started like obsessively watching and trying to find any way I possibly could to watch every UFC, to watch whatever Pride videos. I'd trade tapes with people. I'd find people online and like, hey, let's trade a tape of like an event that like existed, like whenever, Shuto, whatever. And I started going down these rabbit holes and I loved it. So I do wrestling in high school. I do okay. You know, I wasn't a superstar, but I was decent, right? Okay, what do I do next? I go to junior college. I wrestle there. I get way better there, and I kind of like find my own groove there. They cut our program after the first year, right? Terrible. I'm bummed. Okay, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. I decide, I'm like, it is what it is. I'm not going to continue to go to school. While at school, there was a guy that was fighting that did mixed martial arts. His name's Nam Fan. He had asked me to help him prepare for some fights because he was fighting a wrestler. So my job was to show up, try to take him down and get punched in the face a bunch of times. So that was like my first like introduction to training mixed martial arts. So I would help him in that way. He went, he fought, he won, he did well. Hey, do you want to take a fight? Sure. Fuck, dude, it's that easy. Like, why not? You know, I knew how to wrestle and then that's it. He showed me an armbar defense and a triangle defense. And that was all I knew and all I trained for a month, maybe, of preparation, maybe even less than that. We fought in the Golden Acre Casino, which is like in San Diego area, like an Indian reservation. Fought there, won, and then that was it. I fought so long ago that at that point, we were not getting paid. Like I fought, like this is a pro fight because like they didn't have amateur back in the day. I went, I signed a contract to fight this guy for $0. Like that was like a professional fight. Like now everyone gets paid, but I fought for $0. But because I won and I won in spectacular fashion, they gave me a performance bonus. Guess how much the performance bonus was?
What was it?
$100.
Nice.
Yes. So I got a performance bonus of $100. I mean, that was my first fight and I fought a couple other times, but for me, I didn't really excel in mixed martial arts. I don't think I had the mental capacity to deal with the pressure of people and lights and whatever, because I would do great in the training room. I had great training partners. After Nam had moved on and trained somewhere else, I went to go train with Clebers, and I trained with Kleber. I trained with like guys that would come from Brazil, like Fabricio Verdum went to the room. Luis Azeredo would come to the room. Like we'd have all these guys that were really good, Russian dudes straight from Russia. Tiger Shnarovsky would come in, like all these different guys, and I would do well, right? I would train with Kleber and I would do well. And I was thinking to myself, okay, this is going to translate. But when the lights come on, brother, it's different, you know? Yeah. I think a lot of times I beat myself. Obviously, but guys are skilled, but like I think I beat myself a lot more than anything else. And, you know, after fighting a couple times, I realized like, you know what? Maybe I just like to train. Maybe I just like to do jiu-jitsu. So I started doing jiu-jitsu competitively, training jiu-jitsu exclusively, and then helping people out with fights sporadically. And it worked out, you know. I won some stuff, lost some stuff. I had a good time. And then now we're here where I'm coaching full-time, essentially.
That's awesome. Did you even feel that same pressure in the jiu-jitsu tournament?
No, man, because you're not getting punched in the face, bro.
True.
Like you're not.
There's a little bit of a difference there, yeah.
But yeah, like when you, like, this is why like people have to have respect for those people that do compete and do mixed martial arts and like fight. Because like there is a crazy amount of pressure going out there. You're in your fucking underwear, basically, like tiny ass shorts, no shirt, fucking naked, right? You're going to go and punch someone in the face and they're going to try to punch you in the face until you lose consciousness. Like it's kind of scary, you know? And maybe like during the time that I was fighting and like being competitive, I wasn't aware that it was fear. Maybe I would have done better and coped with it better and like understood how to manage my emotions better if I knew there was fear. But at the time, it was just like, you know, like, oh, what am I doing? You know, the bell rings and like how am I in this triangle? I thought I was good at jiu-jitsu, you know, and like this white belt is like triangle me. It doesn't even make sense, you know. But it's different. You go to do jiu-jitsu, I think that's fun. Yeah. I think that's like you should have zero nerves. I've competed a bunch of times with a bunch of people watching. not even a care in the world. You know, back in the day, there was this promotion, or it's still around, but it was called Fight to Win. Relatively big promotion that travels around the United States. People flock and they buy seats and they buy tables and like they have this crazy stage. It was the first company that was really doing those kinds of events. I've done matches there, no problem, no issues, no nerves. You go out there, you wrestle, you have a good time. That's it. You know, I did that in California too. I had a couple other events there. Gymnasiums full, 2,000-3,000 people. No other matches are happening. You're the only black belt match that's going to happen. No issues. It's just different. I find it's a lot less nerve wracking and just a lot more fun. Not that MMA isn't fun. I love training it and I love coaching it, but it's just for me, while like being an active athlete, like I found more joy and less pressure doing jiu-jitsu.
I like training. I've tried the tournaments. I don't like them. I freak out like you were talking about in the MMA, even in the jiu-jitsu tournaments, for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, man. Like everyone's watching you. And like now you got to perform. All the stuff you do in the gym, now you got to do it now. And like sometimes it's just like stage fright. You just can't. You can't perform, Sometimes you need like a little bit of assistance when it comes to like coaching and like get provided that like those talks and like a little bit of a breakdown of like what is happening, and that kind of helps out. But like if you don't really have those conversations, or maybe you don't even want to have those conversations, maybe you feel that anxiety one time, you're like, I'm good. That's okay. That's the cool thing about like jiu-jitsu. Like you can train it for your entire life and never compete and still be good. Yeah. You can train it and compete every other weekend. It's fine. So whatever your journey and whatever your choices at that point.
Yeah. You still come out of it with some awesome skill and
brother, you like your game, for example, like if someone saw you walking down the street, no one would be like under the assumption that like you're going to literally be able to put your shin across someone's neck and like strangle them with both your legs and your hands at the same time. And they're going to be like twisted out where they're completely locked out. No one would be able to imagine that. But like, that's a skill that you've acquired through the years of training. It's great. It's like, it's fun. It's like, it provides you confidence too. Like, I mean, like nobody wants to get in a fist fight out in the wild, right? God forbid someone pulls out a gun or a knife. But if you have to, you have the ability to do that. Take someone down, strangle them, or subdue them, control them. It's badass. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
The confidence that comes with that is it's next level. And I don't know, it kind of bleeds into any aspect. Like if you're in some kind of business scenario and someone's being kind of aggressive, it's like, how far are you going to take it?
Yeah. I think that's the other thing too, is like you could kind of like call people's bluffs too, because you know from years of training how many guys come in and like, whenever I train or fight, like I just see red, blah, blah, blah. What happens every time? They gas out in 2 seconds and they end up getting strangled right off the bat.
Yep.
And then the guys that are like super unassuming, Wesley Carter, perfect example. If you've ever seen him out and about in the street, dude wears like one of them like little paperboy hats and just like hunched over, kind of skinny-ish, weird body type. Very like, you would assume like an introverted and just like pencil pusher type guy. Dude is a maniac. You know what I'm saying? The guy's insane. Like he goes out there and he could literally murder people with his bare hands. But you have no idea based on his interactions, the way he dresses, and the way he presents himself. And then, like I said, you get those other guys that are like, I'm a big, strong, tough guy. Like, yeah, sure you are. Yeah. So it allows us when we're out in the world to like understand that energy and like be able to be like, this guy's not going to do anything, or like I can sense that he's like a tough dude, or you like look at the ears, the other indicator, right? Or you see some scar tissue on the face. Like you could start kind of putting those things together too,
Yeah. Yeah, that's always the thing when you know somebody and they've got that wrestler like cauliflower ear.
It's the biggest giveaway, right? But here's the thing too. Like there are times that people don't have it. Like I got perfect ears, and like nobody would ever know. Like I'm pretty unassuming with how I dress too. Like, and then you got guys that are like brand new white belts and they'll get like big old gigantic blown up ears like off rip. So again, it's like maybe you have a visual indicator, maybe you don't. It's kind of based off of the energy.
How have you avoided the cauliflower ear?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I have a theory, and there's zero scientific evidence behind this, but I think my ears are more malleable, and like they just kind of have the ability to kind of like bend more. It's like joint flexibility. I think people that have more rigid and tense ears, I guess you could say, that have like a tougher cartilage, when that bends, it breaks, and then that causes that fluid. That's exactly how cauliflower is, but I think some people just have like squishy cartilage, and other people have like more rigid cartilage, more prone to breaking, I guess. But no, I never wore headgear. I train. I've been doing some kind of grappling since 2000, so I'm year 26 of training and nothing. Perfect years.
I've got like a super tiny spot in this one. You can't even really see it, but I can feel it.
Yeah, but you know.
Like that's it. That's all.
You know, you like touch it to remind yourself every now and then. That's right. I'm a tough guy.
Did you see those videos on Instagram of people putting their ears between weights and like slamming them, trying to make it look like they have cauliflower?
Brother. Like, listen, like I, for the longest time, have had, probably even to this day, I have FOMO. I want cauliflower. I think it looks cool. I think it looks badass. I think it's awesome. It's like this badge of honor, you know? But watching people like give it to themselves, like, no, dude. You got to earn that, you know? You got to earn that. What are you doing putting your, you know, head between weights and just banging your, that's crazy, man. It's insanity.
So you've trained wrestling, jiu-jitsu?
Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, MMA, boxing. I've done pretty much everything. My strongest skill set would be like jiu-jitsu, and then like the ability to integrate wrestling with jiu-jitsu. And like for the MMA fighters, integrate the striking with the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling, right? So I think I'm pretty well-rounded. I would not say that I'm an expert striking coach. If I can, you know, I know enough to provide a fundamental type class, but I understand the footwork, the distance management. I understand what is required in order to be successful in those fields. And I've studied enough to allow me to be able to provide coaching information and feedback to athletes so they can go ahead and provide some kind of, get some kind of improvement throughout training. The jiu-jitsu and wrestling, like I would say, I would feel comfortable in saying that I know enough to consider myself an expert in those fields. I did kickboxing for years, training in California. I trained with a gentleman called Rafael Cordero. He is former shoot to box, and then moved over and trained and opened his gym called Kings. Trained with him for years and learned a lot of stuff there. And then when that team moved, I stopped, and then I came here and I started training some boxing over here. And I've just been busy doing all that stuff for years. But again, like the main thing I'd say that I'm an expert, a subject matter expert, you know, is like wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Those are the two big things. And I've been coaching wrestling since 2000, and I think my first year with wrestling was right out of high school, 2004. So I've been coaching since 2004 in some capacity, whether it's like, okay, I'm assisting as the JV coach, or I'm an assistant coach, or I'm the head coach. I've had every position. I've had the opportunity to coach at some pretty good schools with good athletes, and I've had the opportunity to like touch and provide some assistance to the guys that have placed in state, have gone to state in a wrestling capacity. And in jiu-jitsu, I've had pan champs, national champs, world champs. I've had the opportunity to also help out athletes that have gone to the UFC BJJ event. So I've had an opportunity to coach at a pretty high level when it comes to jiu-jitsu as well. So those are my real areas of expertise, you know. And then like I like to break down technique and like watch film and whatnot. So those things are really, they're fun to me.
I've noticed that everywhere else I've ever trained at, they never really touched on takedowns like at all. And then we walk into Queen City, and then we start with wrestling. Beginning of every class.
Dude, I think it's such an important skill to have. I mean, like, can you pull guard and just like basically like butt scoot? You know, well, sure, that's not a problem. Sometimes I will recommend athletes to do that, but I think that there's a necessity to learn how to wrestle, because there's going to be a time where there's going to be a guy that's a better guard player than you, and you need to be on top, right? You have to be able to take them down. Maybe they're going to do a little bit of neutral, and if you take them on down, you know, you're going to win the match, right? Or maybe they're absolute trash on bottom, and you know that you take them there and you're on top, you're going to destroy them. So like you have to have some kind of background in wrestling, we have a lot of guys that have, that are at the gym now that have never wrestled a day in their lives. They never wrestled in high school. They never wrestled in junior high. They never wrestled in elementary school. And they'll go to a gym, or we'll have visitors here at our gym, and they'll wrestle someone on the feet. And they'll be like, bro, did you wrestle? No. I learned all the wrestling here at Queen City. I think it's super duper important. I think that if you're not learning how to wrestle, and if you're not wrestling every day, you are doing yourself a disservice. Whether it's for competitive jiu-jitsu, whether it's for self-defense, or whether it's for MMA. I think you have to.
Yeah, I know my takedowns are still trash, but they're still way better than when I started.
Right,
they were
but you are
non-existent at all
familiar.
when I started.
You're familiar now. Now at least you know of the threats that can happen, and maybe you have zero offense, but enough defense to negate them passing your guard as they take you down. Maybe as they take you down, you know where you're going and you wrap them up. So like having like the ability to understand what's happening and not being completely lost, dude, that's important, right? How many times have you seen someone get taken down and not know how to fall and get hurt? That's because they've never been taken down ever. They post, they do this, they do that. Dude, I've seen it so many times at tournaments. But getting taken down every single day, even if you're bad, getting taken down all the time makes you acquainted with that, and then you'll be able to protect yourself as you go down. Or you develop defense, and now you start stuffing everyone's takedowns. Or you put them into threats, front headlocks, you start strangling them. Like, I think it's so important, dude. I think everyone needs to wrestle, at least a little bit. And I don't want to hear this like, well, I'm too old, or it's, I'm going to get hurt. Like, no, dude. I've got guys that are 55 years old wrestling today. They've never wrestled either. Everyone can wrestle. You just have to like scale it accordingly. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I know there's a counter you showed a few times, but I remember seeing it like when I first started coming there, when they shoot for, I think it's a single leg, and you grab the arm and you get them like a Kimura stuff.
Roll through Kimura. The Sakuraba, baby. Yeah. That's a Sakuraba. I pulled that on
somebody last time I was in class.
Dude, and here's the thing. You understand that because you understand how to stay on your feet long enough off their takedown with proper defense to then provide the counter. If you are a fish out of water when it comes to wrestling, they grab your leg, you're going to collapse. You're going to go down, and you're never going to have the opportunity to provide or try that Kimura. You have to have some kind of wrestling. Again, you don't have to be a pro, but you have to have a little bit in your back pocket so you can defend enough to provide an offensive move, right? Break that defensive cycle that you're stuck in and put those guys in a defensive cycle. Maybe they try to take you down, and the submission threat forces them on their back.
Yeah.
Sick. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get to mount. I'm going to get to the side control. Maybe you turn over. I take your back. Like,
random thought. When you promote somebody to black belt, you give them some kind of weapon. It's always like some sort of
some gift.
But it looks like custom made. Like, how do you figure out who's getting what, and where do you get those from?
So where I get them from? I get them from a guy called Gene Click. Gene Click is in Tennessee. He is a jiu-jitsu black belt. He owns a school, and that's like his main job. He was on a show called Forged in Fire, I think the show is called.
I watched that. That's a good show.
Yeah, it's great, dude. He was on there, and he competed there. I don't believe he won, but he was on the show. I don't even know how I got his contact information, but I got a hold of it, and we exchanged information a couple of times. And, whenever I had my first black belt presentation, I hit him up, and there we go. For me, obviously, the black belt is like the ultimate. That in itself is a gift, right? Because that's like what we're striving for when we're training. But I feel like with time, you kind of like, it becomes not special, but like it just becomes normal, right? Like part of like your regular day life. It's like any, like a job, you get a promotion, like eventually like you're going to stop being stoked about it. And like, it just becomes your job, right? Not to say that jiu-jitsu becomes your job, but like the specialness kind of fades a little bit. I think providing some kind of gift on that specific day that you get promoted provides like a moment and like some kind of reminder of what you've done, what you had to sacrifice to get there, and like it's just cool, Like for me, these guys that are training under me and I get promoted, like it's a gift to me to have them allow me to teach them. For me, like, yes, I give them black belt, but like this is at the end of it, a gift from me to you. Like, hey man, thank you for being with me. Thank you for allowing me to give you a little bit of tips and tricks. Thank you for providing me the opportunity and the pleasure of being called your coach. Here you go. So I think it's like, it's just a way for me to say thank you to the person I'm presenting the black belt to. Now, how do I decide? Like, I think what kind of weapon would be cool. Like whether it's like thinking about their jiu-jitsu or like maybe their personality. Like for example, like Ramon, I believe I had like an axe. Ramon's a big dude. He's just like a large individual. And if he makes contact, he's going to cause damage, right? And I feel like that was like an appropriate gift from, like, I could have gone that way, or maybe even a tiny knife, because he's so cerebral and like very like accurate with how he attacks. I think either one of those two weapons would have worked just fine. For Dan, when you watch him compete, the dude's a motherfucker, bro. Like, he just goes out there and like, he's going to take you down, put you on your ass, and he's going to choke the shit out of you, and it's going to fucking suck. So, okay, what kind of weapon is something that's going to be like brutal? A mace. You know, can it cut you? Yeah, but really it's just you getting bludgeoned. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that was very appropriate for him. Jetty got like a smaller like hatchet, right? Again, very technical, but like I felt like I needed something a little bit more feminine. So the hatchet was like custom made, a little bit smaller with like a black, purple glitter type of finish on the handle. Everyone's just different. Nathan and Max, that just both got their black belts. They both had.
So I didn't get to see theirs.
I don't even know how to call this weapon, but it's like a larger knife that has like a curve kind of. But they're both kind of like out there. Like Max is a crazy dude. Like
they're crazy good, both of them.
Well, they're great practitioners, but they're both crazy in their own way. Like Max is like super intense, right? Like when he's training, it's like game on. When he competes, it's like game on. When he's coaching, it's like game on. It's like very intense and like very intentional with what he does, and like kind of like a little crazy, right? Like if you don't know him, like you're like, well, fuck, dude, this guy's wild, right? So I wanted something that was like a little crazy looking when it comes to that particular weapon. And then Nathan is like a dude from West Virginia that just looks a little crazy. He's like a lot more mellow when it comes to like the coaching aspect, but he's crazy in all these other parts of his life. So I thought providing them both with like a big, crazy looking large blade was appropriate for both of them. Gene does a good job of like, hey man, this guy's like this guy's like this is what I think their personalities are like. Here are my ideas. And he just fleshes them out, dude. He's super talented. They're great. He's great. I love the guy. Quality.
Yeah, it's something they're going to love, and it's going to be there forever, and it's super unique. You can't just buy that off Amazon. Yeah,
and I thought about something like that. Like, hey, what if I just buy a thing? That would be okay, I guess. But like, everyone has things, you know? Like, I'm going to buy a custom mug. Okay, you're going to toss that. Who's going to throw away a freaking mace? No. Like, I'm sure there's probably like not only just like no one's going to want to throw it away, but like there's got to be like legal ramifications if you just toss it in the garbage and someone picks it up and bludgeons someone else if it's yours, you know? Like, that's not good. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like I have to go about it that way. And I have ideas for my first guy that goes from white to black too. I have like a real special weapon that's going to be, I don't even know if I should say it. I kind of want to say it, but I don't know if I should. But I have a special weapon for the first guy that goes from white all the way to black. It's going to be badass, bro. It's badass. I'll say what it is, and if you guys can figure it out what it is by looking it up, feel free. But it's going to be a macahuitle. That's all I'm going to say, okay? If you could figure that out, you can figure out how to spell it, go for it. It's a macahuitle. That's what I'm going to get, the first white to black guy. First white to black belt.
Women's classes and kids classes that are starting out.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the women's classes on its own is just really cool. I told you about that time. Well, you got contacted by that person when I was in, I think it was Seattle. And I just went to a random gym out there. And one of the ladies there was like, oh, you go to Queen City? I've seen their page. They've got women's classes.
Dude,
That's
she's
cool.
big time now. Like, have you seen her Instagram page?
No.
Bro, she's like blowing up. Her name is like Beatriz. Man, I can't remember what her last name, but she's a black belt now.
Oh,
you might have trained with her when she was a brown belt, I believe. Brown or purple, but she's a black belt now. She competes regularly. She's super, super funny. I feel real bad not knowing what the name of her Instagram handle is or her full name, but she is super funny. But yeah, she hit me up. She's like you went to train wherever you went in Seattle, you said?
I think so.
And then she like messaged me on Instagram. Hey man, I wrestled with your dude Ethan. He's like a ball of spaghetti. I didn't even know where his lungs were coming from. Like, it was crazy. But she messaged me. But yeah, man, like through the women's classes, like I'm fortunate to have the ability and the opportunity to provide a space for women to train and feel comfortable, right? And when Jetty came on board, Jetty's one of my black belts now. when Jetty came on board, like she's really, really, really good. Jetty's like super smart, super technical, a sweetheart. I don't think I've ever met anyone that doesn't like her. Genuinely nice person, great personality. I was like, hey man, you want to run a class for just girls? Like she's like, yeah, let's do it. And now we have this women's class that's free to open to the public. You don't have to be a part of our gym. You can be part of another gym. You don't have to have experience. You can come in with like 0 days of experience and come and train and enjoy yourself, you know? And I think it's very important for people in my position to provide opportunities to females to have, you know, places to train where they feel safe and comfortable. I'm not saying that like women can't train with men. They absolutely can, but sometimes they don't want to because of past experiences, or sometimes they're just not at that point of a comfort level. Like, cause what we do is gross, you know, like we're wrestling and there's like, I'm sweating on top of you. And like, maybe like I start like panting really hard and like a little bit of spit comes out. And like, then all of a sudden like, what's this hair? What kind of hair is this? It's in my mouth. I don't know what kind of hair this is. Why is it so coarse? Oh my God. You know, like there's like so many things that make it kind of, you know, not appealing for like the regular person. We're used to it. We have fun. We love it. But like sometimes it's a barrier of entry for females. So the women's class is intended to, one, give them a space to train with other females, just women. But two, maybe an introduction. Maybe you want to first get sweaty with some females before like you're okay with training with the guys. Maybe you need to understand what the culture is in the gym before you feel inclined to go ahead and jump into a regular class. Maybe you need to talk to Jetty and have her kind of coach you through that. And when you're ready to go, you're good to go. You know, we have a female that was going specifically to women's class. Her name is Cheyenne, super sweet girl, very funny. And she would only go to women's classes because she did not feel comfortable going to any other class. Over time, that changed. She met some people. She got some feedback. Now she goes to my 9 a.m. class all the time.
Nice.
You know, like it's just, sometimes it's just good to have that space. And I'm glad to provide it for free. And same thing for dudes, man. Like we have fundamentals classes. Bro, there's a lot of times where guys are like unsure and they're like worried they're going to get beat up, or they've gone to another gym and they had the experience where like, I got the tar beat out of me just for showing up, which is not cool. You know, we have fundamentals classes and we have like an overall good vibe. Like come in, try it out. If you like it, cool, man. We'll get you signed up. You train for a week for free. If the energy's good, stick around. If not, no harm, no foul. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Open mats every Sunday for free. You know, and then same thing for the kids. Kids need that too. They need to have that opportunity to be able to train and feel comfortable, feel safe. And I think we do a pretty good job of providing that kind of environment.
Definitely. I've yet to run into anyone who's an asshole at Queen City. I've run into them in other places.
Yeah. There are times where they're like eke their way in, but they always see themselves out. Yeah. You know, like there's very little times that I need to step in and be like, hey man, you can't be here. You're not, what you're doing is not okay, or how you're presenting yourself is not okay. In most cases, people that are like not good people, or just like assholes or whatever you want to call them, like they kind of like see like, man, everyone here is super nice. Like I don't like it. I'm going to leave. Or, you know, why are they not trying to hurt me like I'm trying to hurt them? Like they usually just kind of fizzle out on their own. Yeah. I've had to kick, you know, 2 people out and that's it. 3. That's it. I've never had that. And we've been in business since 2018.
That's awesome. So
that's not bad. You know, one was confrontational with people and had being hyper aggressive, I guess you could say. I had another individual that just, you know, not good energy, not good stuff that was happening outside of the gym, brought me into it and not interested. And then I had another individual that was just similar, just not good stuff happening outside of the gym. And the safety for everyone and keeping the vibe high is like super important to me. Yeah. I had this other guy reach out to me recently, and I had heard a lot of things about this individual, and hey man, can I come by and stop by and train? I'll follow whatever rules you got. I'll pay whatever the fees are. And then I had already been prepared for this because I knew he was looking around for a spot, and nah, man, I don't think it's going to be the right fit. Best of luck to you. I don't think we need to have this conversation any further. Well, if I see you around, I'll say hello, but that's the extent of it, you know? And you just got to protect your people, you know? Yeah. It's better that way, I think. The $100 a month or whatever they're going to pay is not worth ruining it for everyone else.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, those $100 a month, like who gives a fuck? You know, whatever. I'll sell 10 t-shirts instead, or I'll like be nice to someone else and find someone else that's got good energy and they'll come in and take the place of that guy. Like, it's not worth it. It never is.
Bring the whole vibe of the entire place down.
It's just bad. You know, it's bad. And people realize that kind of stuff. When you have
For sure.
like people that are not good that are coming in and they are allowed to stick around, or they see that they're being treated like well, like people take notice of that kind of stuff, and your other members might get disgruntled. Like, you know what? Fuck this place. I saw, you know, Billy Bob hurt Jimmy Joe and Coach Ruben didn't do anything about it. Like, what are we doing? You know, I'm leaving. I'm going to get hurt. Like, we don't want that. We don't want that. You know, I had this other guy, and this guy wasn't doing anything intentional. You know, it wasn't on purpose, but he came in and he was training and he was at a certain skill and athletic level. And his opponent or his training partner at Open Mat was he was not as athletic and did not have as high a skill level. And he was just kind of pummeling this other guy. And like, to a certain extent, it's okay to beat people and do this and that. But then when it becomes unsafe is when you have to step in. So like, I saw him jump on this guy's back and the other person kind of collapsed, and thank God he didn't get hurt. But like, they just kind of fell back together and all of that weight was coming down. Yeah. I didn't really see it, but then someone's like, hey man, did you watch it? I was like, no. So I pulled up my cameras. I took a look at the cameras. Like, oh my God. So whatever he was doing, whoever he was training with, I said, hey man, hey, Will, whatever, you know, hey, Billy Bob, stop right there. Can you come over here? We need to talk. Pulled him off to the side, talked to him about safety, instructed them that like, hey, if we do this again, I can't let you come back. So be aware of what you're doing. Take care of your people. Be aware of like, you know, the level of skill of your training partner. Again, not saying you can't tap people out, but brother, like if you're jumping on submissions, like, you know, that's not good. That's never good. But he was nice, and you could tell that once we had that conversation, he's like was more aware. Yeah. You know, so hopefully he comes next week. We'll train again, and I'll keep an eye out on him. And if he does well, usually that's enough. Yeah. You know, if it's a repeat situation, like maybe don't come back. You know. Yeah. Again, $100 is not worth you blowing out your ACL. Yeah. It's just not.
It's gonna cost a lot more than $100.
Yeah, it's just not, dude. It's just not.
Yeah, I remember I was at, like, say the name of the gym, but it was back when I was doing gi before I found you guys. And I was rolling with a purple belt as a relatively new white belt. Mm-hmm. And this guy jumped on like a wrist lock and like cranked the hell out of it. My wrist hurt for like 2 months. I'm like, yeah, you're a purple belt going up against a white belt. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah. It's weird, man. Jiu-jitsu is a very interesting sport. It's very niche, right? And you get a lot of like interesting personalities, right? You will get people that will kind of run through this standard course of like, okay, I'm coming in, I'm a tough guy. Okay, I'm not a tough guy. You know, Ethan, who is very lean and tall, and I'm super muscular. Ethan is beating me up. Okay, I need to reevaluate my life, and I need to be nicer and realize that people can be dangerous even if, you know, they don't look it. And those people just kind of follow this path and kind of adjust their attitude, and they train and they become humble. But there's also this other sect of people that come in, and like, I think this is not talked about enough, where they'll go in and maybe they come in as a normal person, maybe they come in with that aggression, maybe they come in as really docile, but over time, they kind of learn all these techniques and they kind of become dickheads. It's like that Spider-Man quote, with great power comes great responsibility. They're like on the other end of the spectrum. Like with great power, now I can torture and pummel humans, you know, and like they take advantage of that. And like that happens a lot, bro. Like a lot more than people let there be known, but it happens a ton. Like that's where you have to like step in as a coach and be like, hey man, stop it or you're out, you know? But there's people that love that. They like get that taste of power. Like, I know I can submit this guy. I'm going to torture him, you know? And like, there's a difference. Like if we're buddies and like you and I are like shooting a shit all the time, and then like you take my back and then you start smothering my face, like I'm not going to get mad because that's a relationship that we've built, right? I'd be okay with it. or if you like go plot on me and they like look at me in the eyes and you like laugh, like I will probably find that to be funny. But if it's to a stranger that's never trained before and you're just being a dickhead to them, like, what are you doing? Right? You gotta build the relationship and kind of like build their skill set to then be able to have them have an opportunity to defend themselves and have the opportunity to give it back to you, you know? Yeah, it's jiu-jitsu is super interesting. Like I said, you have so many of those different personalities that come in, and it's not always like jiu-jitsu will humble you. It's not always that. Jiu-jitsu sometimes also creates not great people. I don't know, but they go on power trips.
Yeah.
You know? And that happens with everything, like you said, you know, regular jobs at a factory, at a real estate place. Police officers sometimes unfortunately have that where like they'll get that little bit of power and now they feel like, okay, well now I'm gonna pull over everyone and give everyone a ticket for no reason. Not everyone. There's a bunch of good cops out there, but there's also some pieces of shit. That's just normal for everything, you know? Not all doctors are great. Some doctors are terrible humans. Not all nurses or priests are great. Some are terrible. Not all cops are terrible. Some are fantastic. It's normal. There's gonna be good and bad in everything. And I think that's like I said, I think a lot of people don't talk about the shit people that are in jiu-jitsu. I think most people talk about like, yeah, it's life-changing. You get to a black belt and it's like, you're going to be a good person. Nope, they're not. Not always. Sometimes these people are bad. It's just the way it is, you know, unfortunately.
That's with absolutely everything. I remember I was trying to be a firefighter for a while, and originally the people I talked to were awesome. All the people I went on all my like ride-alongs with, all of them were awesome. As soon as I get on with a firehouse, there's probably about 5 or 6 people that I actually have interactions with. 3 of them were complete pieces of shit. The other ones are absolutely awesome. It's bizarre. They're everywhere.
Yeah. Bad people are everywhere. Good people are everywhere. It's tough. I think it's our job as like people, humans, and, you know, just people in society to like give everyone the benefit of the doubt until, you know, they give you a reason not to, you know? So I try to like be really open-minded and like be cool with everyone until they give me a reason not to. And even then, when they give me a reason not to, most of the time I'm just going to cut them off. Yeah. I don't really need to do anything to them. Like, okay, cool, you're not cool.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk anymore. See you. Either leave or like I'm just never, when I see you, I'm not going to say hello. Like I've had that happen and that's okay. I have no problem cutting people off. It relieves stress and anxiety. You know, like I don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm going to have to deal with X, Y, and Z. Like, no, dude. Just cut them off. Don't talk to them at the end.
Yeah, I've had to do that even with real estate. There's a couple agents who like, I'm not going to deal with you anymore. I've only had like one client who I've had to say like, hey, I'm not going to work with you anymore.
Yeah.
But
that's tough too. That like takes a lot from your end. Cause like, I mean, I think it's 5% or 3%, whatever you guys make. Like if 3% of $500,000 is a lot of money to say no to, you know, like that's a lot. So it's impressive that you're able to like, nah, man, I'm good.
And it is a super humbling sport.
Dude, 100%, man. Like we have Chase, you know, little Chase, kind of skinny Chase. Bro, he's a nightmare too. He is 16. He probably weighs 130 pounds. He will strangle 90% of the men that are out there just walking around. Jetty is a sweet girl, you know, long, curly blonde hair, right? You would just think nothing of it. Bro, she will strangle everyone.
Assassin,
bro. Wes, again, dude looks super unassuming. He will literally kill you with your bare hands. You know, and when you go in there, I've been lifting weights my entire life, and I feel really big and strong, and like I know I look the part, and you get in there, and one of those 3 types of people strangles you, like it's like, God, fuck. I've been wasting my time this entire time. Not that lifting weights is a waste of time. I think it's also important, but it is definitely eye-opening. I'm fortunate and blessed enough to where I was exposed at a younger age, but you know, there's guys that are getting into this when they're 42. Yeah. You know, and it's like they've lived their entire life living this way, and they have this certain thought process and this thought about who they are and what things are. And
there's a lot of people who go to the gym and they got those gym muscles, and like we know some 16-year-olds who will choke you to death.
Oh yeah, yeah. But 100% true. But I will tell you what, man. Like strength, like if you have the skills and the strength, brother,
dangerous.
100%. Like I feel I used to never lift weights, and now I lift weights regularly. man, it's made such a difference on like how I feel, like from a health perspective, and like how I feel when I'm grabbing people, because I have the technique that I've developed over years, and now I have both the technique and the strength. Is like it's nice, dude. It's very nice. So like I do recommend that people do auxiliary work aside from their jiu-jitsu. So their jiu-jitsu is their primary function or their primary workout, and then over time add the weightlifting. Over time add like some strength and conditioning. That'll help out tremendously. Because when skills are equal, what comes into play? Strength and athleticism, right? And those are things you can develop. So I think it's important, especially if you're trying to be competitive. If you're just trying to like have fun and good time and whatever, totally okay. Maybe not. But if you're trying to be competitive, I think it's absolutely necessary. You have to develop your skills and then for sure add some strength training. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. If anyone in the area, if like you're in Dayton area, and man, I don't even know the areas. I'm terrible with this. You're like a realtor. You know, Springboro, Centerville, what's surrounding? Lebanon, Franklin, any of those cities in that area, or even further south by Mason, Mainville, whatever. Man, I've got 2 gyms. One of them in Springboro starting April. We're currently in Franklin, but it's going to be in April in Springboro. And then I have a second gym in Mainville. April 4th is the grand opening. That's a projected timeline. But if you're in that area, you want to train, you want to learn jiu-jitsu, you want to learn kickboxing, you want to learn how to, strangle some people with self-defense, you want to have fun, you want to meet new people, you want to become friends with people, man, it's a life-changing thing. I've been doing it for 25 years, going on 26, and it has literally changed my life in every aspect for the better. And I have countless of other members that could express the same thing of how it's changed their life. So if you ever want to do something like that, jump in, have some fun, hit me up, queencitygrappling.com, Instagram, Queen City Grappling, Facebook, Queen City Grappling, or my personal handle, Ruben, Ruben, Vera, Vera. Just Google it, and I'll pop up.
Awesome.
Sick. My man.
Coming out.